Surprise!
We're back. I don't even know where to start today. It's like,
Oh my God. Well, I
it's
think you
been a
can see by the way
whirlwind.
I look
Yeah.
and I'm probably going to yawn a couple times throughout this. I'm really sorry. That's what's happening in my body today. I'm here.
Yeah. We
That's
all
about
need
as
to take
much as I can say.
a deep breath and just kind of, I feel, okay. So tell me if this is a good metaphor. I don't surf, but I'm on a surfboard and I'm riding a wave, and behind me there's a shark. Okay. And I'm not good at riding the wave. I can't surf to save my life. But if I don't surf, I will lose my life because there's a shark behind me. So I'm trying desperately to be able to continue surfing so that the shark doesn't get me. I feel like that's how life has been the last month.
Let's like up it though, like it's a
Okay.
whole pod of
It's a whole pot of sharks.
because there's health and there's finances and there's politics and there's family and there's it's a whole pod.
So
It's a
to
whole
stay on,
pod.
how do we stay on the surfboard and make it to shore?
And which one's going to eat you first? I don't know.
Exactly.
And they're trying to bite the board
Oh
while
yeah.
you're trying to stand up. They're bumping it and they're
That's how
yeah,
it feels. That's
I
how
like that
life is
metaphor.
felt. Thank you.
I like that metaphor.
And I'm not great at surfing. I do my best, and that's all we can ever do is do our best. But it really makes life like it's not the adventure that I want right now. Like I
Mhm.
need I need calmness. I need to mute my phone. Um, but I need like calmness, and I don't mind a nice little wave, but I'm not gonna go hang 10 at, Waikiki right now when surf's up, right? Because that's too much. But sometimes an unexpected giant wave will come along that we didn't see coming, and but some people did see it coming. And that's the thing I want to talk about today
Mhm.
is when there's something big coming for you, and the people that should know and warn you don't take action, and this is your health and this is your life. To me, that's just mind blowing. I was so excited. I was scrolling through Facebook, and I love Dr. Bayo, and she's amazing. And if
Mhm.
you don't follow her, you really should. And she has clinicians who care. And one of the things I discover, I said, I had reported, which I thought was a funny way to put it. I had
Yeah.
reported my doctor, and it is these are recommendations, people. This is not a reporting place to like get someone in trouble. But I
Positive.
so I went to her site and I made a recommendation for my oncologist who saw something and took action and protected me from the deadly sharks in the water, right? And
Mhm.
she took action, and now I'm in a safe place because of the action she took. But when I sent it to her team, I said, I reported you for excellent care. So I wanted to get their attention with it, and then I sent them a screenshot of her being she's up there on it with my review of her on there. And so I was really excited for that. But there are so many people, and I want you to tell your story of what you've just been through, because when people see something and don't say something, it can have devastating effects to our
Yeah.
life. So
Yeah.
share a little bit about kind of what's been happening just this past week.
Sure. I'm going to start with, like most of you, I see my doctors regularly.
Mhm.
This isn't like, well, this is the first time in 20 years I've been to the doctor and darn, something's wrong. And I've worn glasses since I was 15, and I have had annual visits, right? And other than, needing help to see in the distance, my eyes are beautifully, perfectly healthy. last year I had my first appointment with just the optometrist, and she's like, "Oh, I'm really concerned about the pressures in your eye. They're very high. This is called interocular interocular hypertension." And my IOPs were 26, and they're supposed to be under 20. Ideally, they're in the low teens. And that's the pressure inside your eye. It is separate from your normal hypertension, right? Like your eyes have a separate hypertension issue, right? So you can have hypertension and not have any problem with your eye, or you can have intraocular hypertension and not have hypertension in your body. But for me, my hypertension in my body was contributing, like making this worse. Okay. So we found it last year, and she's like, "I want you to see an ophthalmologist." I was with Kaiser at the time. So I went to go to ophthalmologist, perfectly pleasant guy, Kaiser ophthalmologist. Loved his job, did all the took the pictures and whatever. He's like, "Yeah, you have intraocular hypertension. I'm really not that worried about it. We'll keep an eye on it. See you annually." Boom. And I'm like, "Okay, well, do I need to be using drops or anything like that?" Because of course I've researched it before going. No, you don't need drops. There'd be no point. You're fine. Okay. And then I've been having increasing problems with my eyes. My vision is getting worse. I have a lot of pain in my eye. And so when I have new insurance now, went to my primary and was like, I need to see an ophthalmologist. I'm having issues. So she sends it to me. Now, I was with Kaiser, which is an HMO system, and I'm with a new HMO because that's all I can afford right now. But I have both 3 doctors now I've seen in this HMO system, and they've been good. They've been caring. They've listened. And I'm like, "Are you kidding me right now?" So anyway, I saw the ophthalmologist yesterday, and they found, yes, intraocular hypertension, which I knew, but it has gotten to the point where it's damaged the vessels in my eyes. So the vessels in your eyes are supposed to be translucent. They should be able to see through them. The light will pass through. Well, mine are what they call copper wiring, which I joked with the doctor. I'm like, "What, am I a robot?" Because I didn't know what copper wiring meant. He's like, "Yeah, no, that's what we call when the vessels are damaged. So now you can no longer see through my vessels. They're the color of copper and not translucent anymore." What that means is the vascular structures in my eyes are now hard and rigid, kind of like what causes heart attacks, right? So the vessels in my eyes are hard and rigid. Again, that's damage that's can't be undone. We can try to slow it down now, but can't be undone. And there's evidence of glaucoma. And there's a third thing, which is like a brain eye. I have to go to a neuro-ophthalmologist. And I'm like, none of these issues, glaucoma, hypertensive retinopathy, which is the copper eyes, these don't happen quickly. That's extended damage over time. And the Kaiser doctors just kept telling me, "It's just anxiety. Your hypertension is high because it's just anxiety." You cannot cause intraocular hypertension by anxiety. You can't. And it's so frustrating to me that I was very proactive. I'm taking care of my health. I'm going to the doctor saying, "Please help me. A problem has been found. My goal is preserve and protect, prevent if we can. But if we've got issues, then let's preserve the function we have now and protect from further damage." Okay. And thankfully, my doctors that I have now are in that mindset. They're being very proactive. But this could have been prevented or at least slowed down greatly with drops and
That's
with
all
being
it takes.
right, being monitored more regularly and drops. Like glaucoma can be managed with drops. And the damage to glaucoma is from IOP, which is the interocular pressure. And then the vascular, that is from hypertension, right? Like it's very, when people have chronic hypertension that's not managed, it does damage your eyes. Okay, so that's different than the IOP. So all of that time of me saying, help me with my blood pressure, that what we're doing right now is not working. I'm doing everything on my end I can. Doing everything on my, I'm not having caffeine. I'm exercising. I'm eating as healthy as I possibly can. Low salt. Like I'm doing everything I can. I'm coming to you. Help me. And they're like, you need to lose weight and handle your anxiety. And so now I have damage. Like I can't drive at night anymore. I
Wow.
see at night, I see everything's blurry. I see double vision. Everything's very blurry. I can't drive at night. I'm 52 years old. Like
That's crazy.
You know, I can see when I'm like 70 being like, yeah, I can't drive at night anymore. Fine. But right now, like I'm too young for not being able to drive at night. And this could have been prevented. And it's just, so I'm pissed right now. Yesterday I would say depressed. Like I came home from that appointment. I hurt. Like I think I'm allergic to the stuff they use to dilate and numb your eyes because immediately my nose started watering and sneezing and massive headache. So my eyes, they still hurt today. So I needed to lay down, but also I think dejected, like I felt beat up. And today I'm pissed. Like I'm in that, you know, the phases of grief. Today I'm pissed, just pissed. So that's a very, very long story to tell you where I'm at. I also saw the nephrologist this week. And again, the nephrologist that I saw at Kaiser, dismissive. Literally, even though I have congenital defects in my kidneys, and I was, it's just, but this one is like, oh, okay, this is a lot. You are complex and you're really interesting. I want to do these tests, come back in 2 months. We're keeping a close eye on you, blah, 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 blah. Oh,
What?
thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
And she literally said to me, I'm assuming that you know how to eat healthy, high potassium, low salt, you know to exercise. I'm assuming you know that. Is that correct? And I'm like, yes, very correct. She's like, okay.
Yeah, they gave you the benefit of the doubt. You know, that's one of the things I will say, you know, and you have to reread like every time you go to the doctor or you see a new doctor, you kind of have to go through all of the different things that you've been through, and this is why it's important, and we're not getting answers to this or this, whatever that might be. It's like, first of all, do not read my charts, but now I feel like there's so much information in my charts that no doctor's going to read through all of it. So I want to come in with like the abridged version so that they can like hear like where I'm at in my, like from my research and all of my stuff. So I'm hoping that like they will get all of that. And I'm finding that does help. It does help to have the doctor, like with my lymphatic stuff that I'm dealing with. I go to a therapist for that now, and she's amazing, but she's really specific, and it's such a different, she's like, we need to get you to this, and she's just like a lymphatic specialist, right? This is her area of expertise, but she's like, let's bring in somebody else, let's do this stuff. And I know people can be on the up, like first you get doctors that don't want to do any of the tests, and you're like begging them, like, I have good insurance. Please just give me the test. I'll pay out of pocket. I don't care. I just really like, this is my life and my health that I'm worried about. But then you don't want to go the other side of things and have them sit in, be like just constantly sending you to tests all of the time. And then it's just like, now I just feel like you're running up my bill, right? You're just like, you know, trying to bring things up higher. So it's that finding that doctor that first assumes the best in you when they said to you, I know you know how to eat right and exercise and those things. Am I right? And you're like, yes. And when you start from that point of I'm assuming the best about you instead of I'm assuming the worst about you,
Yeah.
that's just already putting you in such a better position where you feel like you're going to be heard and things are going to be good, right? It's just that has to just make a world of difference.
Yeah, and I have to tell you, the nephrologist, I brought, a document with here's where I'm at. Here's recent pertinent test results and scans for you. Lab results, and here's my concerns, and here's my current diagnoses. And she grabbed it, and she's like, "Oh, okay, this is." It was 3 pages. As the nephrologist, that's like my biggest area of need, right? So there's a lot of information. And she went through it line by line.
Wow.
And asked me questions. And, some of it she was like, "Oh, I'm not sure about this. I need to look into this more." And, it was fine. She was very no nonsense, not a warm, fuzzy doctor. I don't have a problem with that. She did not look at the document like all the Kaiser doctors when I would bring them something. You want me to read the whole thing? You want me to look at this whole thing? Like, what you want me to actually look at this whole thing?
Which means, did they even read your chart before you walked in the door?
No.
They took the one little line that is probably not even accurate, and then just assume they know everything else.
Yeah.
And that's crazy.
Yeah. So it's just it's interesting because it's small differences.
Mm-hmm.
Like we need to have more doctors in here to have those conversations. But like Dr. Mel Thacker, who we had on here, she didn't look at patients' charts before she walked into the room with them either, a new patient, because she wanted to hear from them what their concerns were.
And I think
so I'm fine with that. I think that's fine. But I would love to hear from doctors of like, why, if it's not them, their colleagues, get irritated when somebody hands them, here's my medical history. Why is that irritating?
I don't know. I don't get it. I'm so complex. I thought I'd give you the Reader's Digest notes or the Cliff Notes of like, here's where I'm at right now. And like, to learn more about me, please dive into my medical records to get all of the information. But here's my 30-second elevator pitch so that you guys can we can at least why I'm here and what's pressing me right now.
And here's the thing, for a doctor to talk to you and ask you your history, that could take half an hour. Mm-hmm. Doctors can scan and look through and be like, oh, let's talk more about that. Oh, let's talk more about that. Yeah. They can find the things that stand out to them that they think, okay, let's talk about these, instead of, all right, let's talk and hopefully what's important comes out. Mm-hmm. Right? So we're saving you time by bringing this.
That's right. We are.
And we're letting you know what's important to us.
Yep. Yeah. And I had that experience too with, I went to a nephrologist who I'd never seen before. And I think I talked about it last time. And she wanted me to do all of these gazillions of tests. And I want to do the tests, but I also am kind of in this flux state where I don't know if all of it's necessary. First, I'm not doing the sleep test, and I know she really wants me to do it, but I'm not going to do it. Why am I not going to do it? Because I sleep fine at night, and I don't care if my oxygen dips just a little bit. It's probably because I was really uncomfortable in the hospital bed when they noticed that my oxygen dipped, because those beds are terrible, and I'm probably sleeping in a really weird position. But I am doing the tests that, and I'm not the doctor to know exactly what I should be doing, but I'm doing it little by little. Instead of, I was supposed to have a blood gas test, but it's not going to tell me a whole heck of a lot that I'm not already getting from some of the other tests. And all the tests that I've been getting have been ruling things out, which is great. But I also know that this lymphatic stuff that I am doing, though I am not your typical lymphatic patient, right? I don't carry water in my legs very much. Very, very, like, they look like normal legs. There is water in there, but you don't see. It's not like I have this lymphedema in my legs. That's not. It's all in my midsection, and that's where my congestion sits. And so I'm going to be doing compression garments. I went and got measured for stuff. Those should be coming in soon. I'm doing this therapy and I'm getting results from it. So I'm
Tell
down
us about
some
the
weight.
results.
So I went in, and here's the thing, and I don't want to tell anybody this because they think that I go to therapy and I'm like running on a treadmill. I'm not. I'm getting a massage. It is fantastic and I love it.
Lymphatic massage is wonderful.
They're wonderful. They're wonderful. And she's great. And so, but I was able to like go all around the grocery store and walk the next day and do a lot more than I had done. And so I'm starting
That's
to push
amazing.
myself more. Yeah. And that really helped. And then I saw my cardiologist, for which I won't see again for a year, because we did the right heart cath, we did all these other tests, and he's like, your heart is in great shape, like you're doing really well, which is awesome news. But it also gives me the green light to now I can push a little, right? I don't have, and that is the stress and anxiety. If I do this, is it going to cause me a setback? Am I going to put myself in danger? Or am I okay to start like let's do a little bit more, let's be on our feet more, let's do these things? And so implementing that, I'm doing those things, and so I'm seeing it's not going to happen overnight, but 6 months from now I hope to be back much closer to my normal self and have the energy and have things flowing right. I don't know if I'll ever have the answer to exactly why it's happening, but I think I do know enough of why this is happening, because the next thing, and this is the scariest part, right? For a lot of us that suffer from these things, is that when we find what it is and we start to reverse it and we get back to feeling more like ourselves again, now the fear of, is this going to happen again? And that is really like, I'm moving towards, I know what's going on. I know that I have lymphatic congestion. I know that I'm salt sensitive. I know that I'm gluten sensitive. I know a lot of things about myself now that are like proven in science. And we have the tests that say this is what it is. And it is caused by, first with COVID, then with the heart thing and having the surgery, and then the tumor, and all of these things that my body has been struggling with that really cause a lot of this other interruptions to have happen. But I'm scared of, when I get to where I want to be, will it last? And that really like is it's a whole new, like, I'm not even where I want to be yet, but I'm already seeing movement in the direction. And then I'm so scared that it's just going to be like rugs, like, where they're like, I don't, well, I know I've been in both situations. So I think I feel comfortable saying this. I didn't mean to, I'll never do that again. I didn't mean to. I'll be better. I'll get help, or I'll do like, and then it just happens again, and you trust that it's going to get better. And then you feel like you got suckered back into something that is not safe for you. And I feel the same. I'm afraid to feel the same thing in my health, in this health thing, that I'm going to believe them, and I'm going to believe and see it in myself. And then it's all going to just go right back, because it was just a lie, and how foolish I am to think that I would be okay. That's the feeling in my brain right now. That's what I'm struggling with. It's crazy.
I mean, it's very understandable that that's what you're feeling. Very understandable, because you've been struggling for so long, and you've been asking for help for so long. And your body may have gotten to a point too where it's like, well, this is our new normal, because our body's like, it's been proven it's that way with weight. Like, you can go on a diet to lose weight, but then your body's like, no, the weight you're supposed to be at was 20 pounds more. because that's where we were at. And I was happy enough there. And now you're trying to lose weight. Well, we got to put it back on. And so then you get in that circle of it. Then it gets harder and harder and harder and harder to lose weight. And our bodies just are that way. Its job is to conserve energy. And that often means putting on weight, holding on to water, doing all of that, that kind of stuff. And so I think it's a very valid concern, Bree, very valid.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping that it's just a concern and doesn't become reality. But it is a valid concern for sure. And have you talked to your doctors about that concern
I
at
think
all?
I've just been feeling it recently, and I don't really know which doctor I would talk to about that. Like, I don't really have that close rapport with any of them that I would feel that. And here's the thing, too, and I think this is really important for maybe women over men, but I think anyone that's struggling with something that they have to overcome, because I think my biggest fear, so I do have this fear now that, okay, I am going to get better, which is something I've been fighting for 5 years. And then we get what we want. And then something goes wrong, or it starts to come back. And then I feel like I'll be really feeling responsible, because I will be in my brain saying, I am never letting this happen again. And if it does happen, then I will have let down myself. Whether it's something I had control of or not, I will blame myself. I did something wrong. I did something bad. I'm a bad person. I didn't take care of myself. I'm doing all of these things. And the emotional, I mean, the physical, we're seeing the physical manifestations in us right now, right? Like, I had a tumor that could have turned into cancer. Nobody found it for 5 years. It didn't just appear. It didn't, it's not like sea monkeys. You throw water in and it overnight you've got, right? It's over time. You've got this glaucoma thing with your eyes and all these different things that are happening. And that is something that's been happening over time that you were like, it says, there's a big, huge sign that says danger on it. And you don't see the sign because only doctors can see the sign, and they let you walk right through that door without warning you or telling you, hey. And so that is like,
or
that.
You see the sign, you read the sign, it's in a different language, you recognize it, you're like, I don't think we should be, like, I think this is warning, and they're holding your hand going, no, I'm your big protector, don't you worry about that, we're just going to keep going, don't worry your little head about that. Right. That's the gaslighting, because you do, you know your body, you're like, there's something, there's danger, my body is saying, I can't quite read it, it's in a different language, but it's flashing and it's red, and I'm getting this feeling that this isn't where we should be. And then the doctors are like, don't worry your pretty little head about that. That is not anything you need to worry about.
Yep.
And then that's why we start not trusting ourselves.
Exactly.
Our protectors. It's a toxic relationship, right? It's a toxic relationship. I would say to you, if you want some advice, I don't know if you do you?
I always love advice, unless it's for a potion, lotion, packet, or pill. I will take your advice.
For a lotion, because you're a therapist, those intense therapy sessions you go to, I would say that I bet your lymphatic drainage therapist would be somebody you could talk to about this, because
she's awesome.
My guess is she probably understands nuance a little bit more and understands the emotional impact on the body a little bit more, and would be willing to give you some guidance of how to talk to your doctors. That would be my guess. It's almost like you need the bridge between the emotional and the medical no nonsense of like, okay, how do I talk to them in a language they can hear, so they know how this worry is impacting me, and what can we do to help that worry not hinder my healing?
Exactly.
Right.
I mean,
That's
literally, these doctors have given us PTSD. Like, we just are, it's like we, and then when you like, and you go back to them or you say something, I had this happen with this water thing, and they're just like, well, why didn't you come in sooner when you gained 25 pounds? I'm like, because it didn't happen overnight. And I called you and I told you and I came to see you and you just said, oh, just take more of this and not worry about that. And it's not, it's whatever. And then I got tired because you never wanted to help me. And now when you see me and you realize it's an issue, like, why didn't you tell me? And I'm like, oh my God. Like,
blame the
I have
patient.
been telling you. Like, I
And
have
they
been
don't,
telling you.
it's almost like they don't want to do anything until it's in a critical point.
Right.
And when you're saying, I can feel it getting there and I don't want it to go there, and they're like, don't you worry. Don't you worry. And then it gets critical and they're like,
why did you tell me?
Why didn't you tell? Like, why'd you let it get this bad? And you're like, damned if you do, damned if you don't. I mean, it's just, so I think, I know we always try to make these not just a bitch session. Like I told you guys, I messaged Bree this morning and said, Bree, I kind of need a bitch session. I just need that. I'm in that place. There's not a lot of positivity in me right now. I'm frustrated.
Yeah.
And I'm angry and I just need a little bitch session. And so we have had that. But I do want to end on a little more of positive, hopeful things. Mm-hmm. We're both in a place where we have found some providers that are listening. They may not be perfect. We don't have all the answers yet, but we're in a positive trajectory. And I am very grateful for that. Along with that, I've been thinking very much about the chronic illness community in general. I'm in it a lot. Like now that's what I talk about on my social media, I interact with a lot of people. And there's so many more than I ever thought or ever imagined. And I'm actually really grateful. It sucks to be a chronic illness person, but I'm grateful that we get to be, because 100 years ago, we probably would have died.
Yeah.
I would have died as a teenager with what was going on in my heart. Yep. I would have died, if I didn't die then, I would have died of childbirth with how my body fought my pregnancies. And my second son probably would have died without the medical things that have happened. There's probably a good 5 or 6 points in my life where I would have died and I wouldn't get to, I'm saying this air quotes, friends, with a little like cheekiness, but I wouldn't get to suffer chronic illness because I would have died if I hadn't been taken care of in those points. And so you have a medically complex body and those really acute, scary things get taken care of and you're able to live on. For some of us, those acute things end up damaging multiple body processes, organs. And so then we do end up with this chronic illness life that is very hard, but we get to have a life. And so that's where I'm really trying, not toxic positivity, not be grateful you're alive kind of thing, but I am also grateful that I survived past teenage years, that I survived pregnancy and have my children, that I have survived this horrible,
you're still here,
went through that probably should have made me stroke out and potentially organ failure and die, right? And I didn't, because I had an emergency room to go to and they were able to bring it down. And then I had emergency meds I could take.
Yep.
And so I am still here. I am still fighting. I am finding doctors that are listening. I am out of Kaiser. Any chronically ill person, do not touch Kaiser. I think they do good with like the normal, like diabetes and, like the normal stuff that is a little more, I mean, and diabetes is a chronic illness too, but it's an understood chronic illness. And I think they're pretty good with that, but with complex people, stay away. And so that is, as we're kind of closing up today, I just want to say that's where I'm really trying to come out of this anger. Yesterday was the blues. Yesterday I was down. Today I'm angry, and I'm trying to be appreciative for the trajectory things are going. That I do have care now. They're taking it seriously. People are listening, and we can stop a lot of this damage in its tracks.
Absolutely.
I'm
Yes.
That's where,
And you also got to talk about it and vent a little bit. I do want to say one thing. And this is something that happened at my cardiology appointment. So if we go back in January, I went to my cardiologist and I said, I'm dying. Something is wrong. I'm not getting better. This water is a problem. I won't be able to take care of myself soon. I don't want to get like, I don't want to be that person, right? I'm too young for this. And I begged and pleaded with him, and he listened enough to say, if it's not better with this, we're going to try this. If it's not better, then we'll get you into the hospital. I'll get you admitted into the hospital, and you'll be able, and we'll run some tests. And to get him to finally say that was big for me. And going to the hospital, I spent a week at the hospital. I fought tooth and nail for every single consult and test they ran. I begged and I pleaded. I was up against people just telling me I've got too much stress and I'm fat to go on a diet and relax and chill. And that wasn't the problem. And I saw a nutritionist and a dietitian who did all the measurements and all of the testing and all of the things and said, this is water. This is not fat. This is not a diet problem. You're probably not even eating enough food at this point in time. I ate their diet in the hospital for a week and gained 2 pounds on their cardiac diet with no snacking, no extras, no nothing. Like I would maybe grab I would get a banana at lunch and eat it for a snack in the afternoon. That was it was all charted, all that stuff. But I said to my doctor, my cardiologist last week when I went in and I saw him, and I said, thank you for helping save my life. And he says, what are you talking? He's like, what do you mean by that? And I said, you got me into the hospital, which got me to an oncology consult, which found the precancerous tumor, which was then removed. And it probably saved my life. And he's like, well, I didn't find it or do anything. And I said, no, but what you did do is you listened to me. You took me seriously enough to get me admitted. And then I fought the rest of the way to find the right doctor who could diagnose it and who could take care of it. And if you hadn't listened to me, I would still be sitting here with this tumor in my body that could be turning into cancer. And I could have died from it. And I did that. And he was like, oh, well, like, I don't think he knew exactly what to do with all of that, like, information, but it is, I wanted him to see that we all do a part as the doctor treating a patient, whether it is completely out of your area of expertise, that knowing to listen to your patient and at least putting them in the right situation to get the help that they do need is all part. You're part of the team that treats me. So just because you're saying it's not my heart and I'm fine, you still helped me get something that was completely in a different area of my body fixed and probably saved my life. And so I'm not looking to change all the doctors, but the ones that I come in contact with, if they do something like that, I am sure as shit going to tell them, hey, you were a part of the team that saved my life. So don't, like, I want you to listen to people. So I'll retrain him a little. I'll put my 2 cents in. I want him to know. That's all I can do.
In the education world, it's called positive behavioral interventions and supports. So when you see the positive behavior, you recognize the positive behavior, you reward the positive behavior, and you get more positive behavior.
Yep.
Right? And it works on children and it works on spouses, frankly, and it works on your doctors. I'm like, thank you. You have made a difference for me. I found that with my clinical trial team. The more I said, I am so appreciative of the care and the time that you're taking. I am so appreciative. Even though everything went wrong with this surgery, you guys have handled it beautifully. And because of that, they spent a little extra time with me. They joked around with me. They would just kind of come in and visit and be like, hey, just walking by, I wanted to say hi. Because I thanked them for that time and attention and listening that they did. And I did that with all the nurses as well. Like, you made a difference. You talked to the doctor. The doctors really listened to you. Wow. I am really impressed. Like, you're running the show. And then they're like, again, the nurses like hung out with me a lot more, spent a lot more time in my room. When I could finally eat again, my sweet nurse was like, I'm going to bring you tea from the nurses station. We have this lovely tea I want to bring you because, and it was great because I am sure they get crap all the freaking time.
Literally.
Literally. And if you can give your doctor positive feedback when they do something positive, even if it's small, if it's a referral, if it's you know what, thank you for acknowledging that I do take my health seriously and I do watch my diet and I know this. Thank you. Thank you for realizing that. Which I said to my doctor when she said, oh, I'm assuming. I'm like, yes. And thank you for assuming that. I really appreciate it. It creates a better environment. So
it does. It really does. And I think we need to be, then that's why I said it to my cardiologist. I was like, I need to let you know that what you did for me it was the first step in where I needed to get healthy. I mean, it's not fixing all of my problems, but please listen. And I said that to my oncologist when after, I said, not only did you help fix my body, but you helped fix my soul and restore faith in the medical community because you were such a phenomenal doctor and your team was so phenomenal and all of this stuff. So high praise to those that step up and are right there for you, but the ones that are struggling with it and you're not really sure and they haven't, but they've helped, but they haven't been like superstars, give them that little bit of reassurance. Tell them when they're doing a great thing. You never know, because the next person that walks in, maybe they'll listen a little better to that person and they'll start seeing that things change for them as well. Happy patients, our mental attitude is a lot to do with it. It's not the stress that's going to kill us, it's the gaslighting. So we'll wrap everything up there. We needed today. We really did.
I know. We really did.
So I thank everybody for tuning in. Please go join us. We'll put the link in the description to join us over in the community. That's absolutely free. We want you to come hang out and share your stories, or just put it in the YouTube video below, and we'll check in with you and see what's going on. We want to hear from you. Go find Tiffany over at Hurricane Tiff. She is a medical mystery. She is on a tour. We are going to make sure that she gets our support. And please don't sell me anything more that's in a bottle, a pill, a juice, whatever. I'm not interested right now. I've got enough in my life. Thank you. Sorry. We'll see you guys next time. Thanks, Tiffany.